In this series, we will conduct a deep dive into the events of the Dance of the Dragons, the infamous Targaryen civil war as described in the books Fire and Blood and the World of Ice and Fire. We'll explore the historical events leading up to the conflict, the major players, the various battles and casualties, its significance in the history of Westeros, and its outcome and aftermath. In this first episode, we will be discussing the Great Council of 101 AC, what led to its convening, its purpose and outcome, and its lasting legacy. The reign of King Jaehaerys I Targaryen and his wife Queen Alysanne was long and prosperous. Many in the realm would argue that the pair were the best rulers in Westerosi history. Maester Yandel of the Citadel and Old Town writes on the death of King Jaehaerys. He was 69 at his death, and had ruled wisely and well for 55 years. Westeros mourned, and it was claimed that even in Dorne, men wept and women tore their garments in lament for a king who had been so just and good. His ashes were interred with those of his beloved, the good Queen Alysanne, beneath the Red Keep, and the realm never saw their like again. During this extended period of relative peace, a crisis was slowly brewing. Jaehaerys and Alysanne produced 13 sons and daughters during their marriage. Unfortunately, many of their children did not survive to adulthood, or met tragic ends. By 101 AC, of the 9 children who lived to adulthood, only 3 survived. In the same year, Jaehaerys' oldest living son and heir, Balon Targaryen, also died, reportedly from a burst belly or appendicitis. This left Jaehaerys with only 2 living children, a son, Vagon Targaryen, with whom Jaehaerys was not particularly close, and who had taken vows at the Citadel to become a maester, and a daughter named Sarah, whom Jaehaerys had disowned and who was no longer living in Westeros. With the death of the king's heir, the realm plunged into uncertainty. Supporters rallied behind 2 major candidates to replace him, Balon's son, Viserys, and the grandson of Jaehaerys' older son, Aemon, named Laenor Velaryon. Supporters of the 2 candidates had begun to form armies to press their respective claims. Rumors swirled that Laenor's father, Corlys Velaryon, the Sea Snake, was forming a fleet in support of Laenor, while Viserys' younger brother, Daemon Targaryen, had formed a small army of sellswords and men-at-arms in case fighting broke out. With civil war looming, the aging king summoned his son Vagon back to King's Landing. Rumors circulated that Jaehaerys offered Vagon the throne, but what is known is that by the end of their meeting, Vagon had suggested that Jaehaerys call the Lords of the Realm, the Maesters of the Citadel, and the Septons of the Faith together to convene a council to decide the matter of succession. This council is what will be later known to history as the Great Council of 101 AC. Harrenhal, the largest castle in the Seven Kingdoms, was chosen as the venue for the Great Council. Its vast size was expected to accommodate up to 500 lords and their entourages, but by the end of the council, almost 1,000 lords and retainers had arrived over the course of 6 months, with some even arriving as the council was concluding. Notable figures from across the realm attended, including the High Septon, who blessed the assembly, several maesters from the Citadel, Lord Mathos Tyrell of Highgarden, the daughter of the ruling Prince of Dorne with 20 Dornish knights, Lord Yobart Royce representing Lady Jane Arryn of the Vale, the Lord of House Tarth, the Lord of House Farwind of the Lonely Light, and lords from the Iron Islands and the Three Sisters. The nearby town of Harrington briefly became the 4th largest settlement in the realm, behind only King's Landing, Old Town, and Lannisport. Over the course of 13 days, a total of 14 claims were deliberated, with 9 of these claims being quickly dismissed. 3 of the claims were not listed, and we have no information on them. One came from a hedge knight who claimed to be the natural-born son, or bastard son, of King Jaehaerys. However, the king himself quickly exposed the claim as a lie. Another unnamed man-at-arms asserted that he was the bastard son of King Maegor I, also known as Maegor the Cruel, the most infamous of the Targaryen kings. The claim was swiftly dismissed, since Maegor, despite having 6 wives, could not father any children, with all pregnancies resulting in stillbirths and miscarriages. This led to the widely held belief that Maegor was sterile. Another unnamed nobleman claimed to be a descendant of Gaemon Targaryen, also known as Gaemon the Glorious, who was Aegon the Conqueror's 4 times great-grandfather, by way of a younger daughter who married a petty lord. His claim was dismissed due to his distant relation to the main branch of the family. 3 of the claimants were bastard sons of King Jaehaerys' estranged daughter, Sarah Targaryen, who, after having a falling out with her parents, had left Westeros to work in a Lysani pleasure house. One of these bastards was fathered by a triarch of Volantis, being one of the 3 elected leaders of the Free City. Another was described as, quote, the very image of King Jaehaerys in his youth, but their claims were dismissed due to the nature of their parentage. Additionally, Princess Rhaenys, the daughter of Aemon Targaryen, who was the king's oldest son before his death, as well as her daughter Laena, were passed over because they were women. Archmaester Vaegon, the last living son of King Jaehaerys, who had the strongest claim, refused to press it due to the vows he made upon becoming a maester. The final 2 candidates, Viserys Targaryen, the son of Baelon Targaryen, and Laenor Velaryon, the grandson of Aemon, were the ones the lords spent the most time debating. Inheritance by primogeniture would favor Laenor, as he was the grandson of Jaehaerys' oldest son. In contrast, inheritance by proximity of blood would favor Viserys, as he was Jaehaerys' grandson, while Laenor was the great-grandson. Both candidates had strong points in their favor. Viserys, a man grown at 24, already had an heir in his daughter Rhaenyra. He was also the last Targaryen to claim and ride Velaryon the Black Dread, the greatest of the Targaryen dragons, before Belaryon's death in 94 AC. On the other hand, Laenor, despite being only 7, was already a dragon rider with his dragon Seasmoke. His father, Corlys Velaryon, was the richest man in the 7 kingdoms, and the Velaryons were known for their exceptional naval power. Corlys's fame, wealth, and reputation would greatly support Laenor's claim. In the end, the lords decided that the male line should take precedence, and voted overwhelmingly in favor of Prince Viserys. Although the maesters never released the actual numbers, it was speculated that Viserys won by a margin of 20 votes to 1. The main supporters of Laenor's claim were the Velaryons and their allies in the Blackwater Bay area, including the Celtigars and Bar Emmons. The Baratheons also supported Laenor, as his grandmother was Jocelyn Baratheon. The Starks and their vassals, the Dustins and the Manderleys, backed Laenor as well, along with House Blackwood in the Riverlands. Most other lords supported Viserys. Notable supporters included Tywin Lannister, the Lord of Casterly Rock, Grover Tully, the Lord of Riverrun, the Lord of House Peak, and Viserys' brother Daemon Targaryen. King Jaehaerys was not at Harrenhal when the council took place, but upon hearing the result, true to his word, he accepted it and named Viserys as his heir. Jaehaerys then appointed Otto Hightower, the younger brother of the Lord of Oldtown, as his new hand, succeeding his son Baelon, who had previously held the position. Otto would later become Viserys' hand when King Jaehaerys died. The significance of the Great Council of 101 AC is that many in the realm saw the council's decision as an iron precedent in matters of succession, and that the male line would always take precedent over the female line. When the Greens staged their coup at the start of the Dance of the Dragons, they pointed to the council's decision and Jaehaerys' choice in 92 AC to appoint Baelon as his heir as justification for crowning Aegon II, the son of Viserys and Alicent Hightower, over King Viserys' chosen heir and daughter, Rhaenyra Targaryen. This concludes the first part of our ongoing series about the Dance of the Dragons. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the newest episodes.